I'll never forget the moment it hit me. One morning, standing in the bathroom, I looked down and realized nothing had happened. No morning wood, no reaction, just silence. And that wasn't the first time. For months, things had been changing quietly. Less firmness, less desire, less of me, somehow. But that morning was different. That morning, something inside me said, "This is not just aging. Something's wrong." At first, I did what most men do. I ignored it. I told myself it was stress. I was tired. Maybe I didn't sleep well. But deep down, I knew. I was slipping, and I couldn't stop it. The worst part wasn't the loss of performance. It was the loss of confidence, the quiet feeling that maybe I wasn't a man anymore. That's when I decided to try something drastic. No pills, no prescriptions, just a question. What if food could change this? What if nature had already given us the answers and I just hadn't listened? I made a plan. For 30 days, I would test the 9 most talked about nuts for circulation and sexual health. Every day, I'd eat one kind, track everything, my mood, my energy, my performance, and yes, even my erections. I told no one, not my friends, not my family, not even my doctor. This was personal. This was between me and my body. And honestly, I didn't expect much. I thought maybe it would help a little. But what happened shocked me. By day 4, something shifted. I woke up and there was a pulse, a signal. Not strong, but there. By day 7, I started to feel something different in my energy. My mood lifted. I felt present again. Then, day 14 happened. That morning, my wife looked at me differently. She smiled like she used to. And that night, for the first time in months, I didn't feel ashamed. I felt alive. Now I'm not saying nuts are a magic bullet, but I am saying that some of them worked faster than I ever expected. Others took time. A few did nothing, but one in particular, that one changed everything. And that's the one I'll tell you about today. If you're a man over 60 and you've been quietly battling this same fear, this slow, silent erosion of your masculinity, I want you to stay with me because I'm about to share what I learned. The truth about these 9 nuts, which ones helped, which ones didn't, and the one that worked faster than anything I've ever tried. This isn't theory. This is real. This is what happened when I gave nature 30 days to prove itself. Let's begin. Before I share what happened with each of the 9 nuts, I want to introduce the person who guided me through this journey. Her name is Dr. Lily Anderson. She's a urologist, a clinical nutritionist, and for the past 22 years, she's worked with thousands of men, many just like me, who thought their best days were behind them. She doesn't just treat symptoms, she listens, she looks deeper, and she believes in something that very few doctors talk about anymore, that the male body, even after 60, still wants to thrive, still wants to heal, and still knows how, if you give it the right support. When I first reached out to her, I was hesitant, embarrassed, even. I thought she might laugh at the idea of using nuts to fix erectile dysfunction, but she didn't. She looked me in the eye and said, "The body remembers how to respond. You just have to feed it what it's been missing." That sentence stayed with me, and so did her approach. Dr. Anderson has spent over 2 decades researching natural therapies for circulation, testosterone support, and prostate health. She's published in major medical journals, advised leading men's clinics in the U.S., and built nutrition-based recovery plans that have helped older men regain performance without pills or procedures. So when I told her about my plan to test 9 different nuts over 30 days, she didn't just approve, she helped me design it. She gave me a framework, what to track, what to expect, which signs meant progress and which didn't. She explained the science behind each nut, what compounds matter, what studies back them, and how quickly I might see results. And now, together, we want to share this with you. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through all 9 nuts. For each one, I'll tell you what I felt, what changed, and when. You'll hear which nuts improved blood flow, which supported testosterone, and which had surprising emotional effects I never expected. We're not here to sell you magic. We're here to offer something more powerful, clarity. A real-world, science-backed look at what can happen when you stop relying on pills and start giving your body the raw materials it's been quietly craving. Because erectile dysfunction is not just about performance, it's about blood flow. It's about hormones. It's about confidence. And when those things start coming back, it doesn't just change your bedroom, it changes your life. So if you're ready to hear what actually worked and which nut delivered results in just 7 days, let's dive in. I didn't expect them to be so different. I thought all nuts were basically the same. Healthy fats, some minerals, maybe a bit of protein. But after testing each one carefully, one day at a time, I found out just how wrong I was. Some worked fast, others needed time, and a few, well, I'll let you judge for yourself. Let me walk you through exactly what I experienced and how Dr. Anderson helped me make sense of it. I've grouped them into 3 simple categories: the fast responders, the slow builders, and the subtle supporters. Let's start with the one that surprised me most: fast responders, noticeable effects within 7 days. 1. Pistachios. Day 4. I woke up with something I hadn't felt in weeks, Dr. Anderson called this one the 7-day miracle nut. And she was not exaggerating. On day 3, I felt nothing. But on the morning of day 4, I remember waking up and thinking, wait, is that real? It wasn't dramatic, but there was a pulse again. Morning wood. Faint, but there. And that alone gave me hope. Pistachios are rich in L-arginine, the amino acid that turns into nitric oxide, the compound that tells your blood vessels to relax and open. And according to a clinical study in Turkey, men who ate pistachios daily for 3 weeks reported significant improvement in erection hardness and satisfaction. I didn't even have to wait that long. By day 6, I was feeling more energized in general, clearer mind, less flat. And that night, my wife said, "You seem different this week." I smiled, but I didn't say why. Not yet. I ate 1 handful of raw pistachios every afternoon right after lunch, just like Dr. Anderson advised, on an empty stomach to maximize absorption. That week changed everything. 2 Brazil nuts, day 5. The spark came back. These were big, clunky, kind of oily, but powerful. Dr. Anderson explained that Brazil nuts are the richest natural source of selenium, a trace mineral essential for testosterone production. Just 1 or 2 nuts a day gives you more than 100% of your daily requirement. And it showed. I noticed a subtle but very real shift in desire by day 5. Not performance yet, just that inner drive, the urge to connect. I caught myself looking at my wife the way I hadn't in months. This wasn't just about blood flow. It was hormonal, emotional. Later, I read that selenium also supports sperm quality and testicular function. I didn't need to understand all of it. I just knew something was switching back on. 3 cashews, day 6, calm, steady, and surprisingly strong. I didn't expect much from cashews. They seemed too ordinary, but I was wrong. Dr. Anderson told me they're high in magnesium, a mineral that helps blood vessels relax and supports healthy blood pressure. For older men, high blood pressure is a major hidden cause of ED. If blood can't move freely, nothing works. By day 6, I started feeling more relaxed, less tension in my chest, less pressure in my head. My sleep improved, and my energy felt more stable. The next morning, I woke up harder than I had in weeks. Not just random firmness, strong, steady, reliable. Cashews don't just help blood flow, they also carry zinc, which supports testosterone. They're kind of the quiet multitaskers of this list, and they earned their spot in the fast lane. Slow builders, noticeable effects. After 10 to 21 days 4, walnuts, Day 12. Firmer mornings, better mood. I had high hopes for walnuts. Dr. Anderson called them the king of nitric oxide, thanks to their high L-arginine content and omega-3 fatty acids. But the change came slowly. It wasn't until day 10 that I noticed firmer morning wood. By day 12, my erections during intimacy were more consistent, not perfect, but reliable. What really surprised me was the emotional shift. I felt more optimistic, more talkative, more me. Dr. Anderson said the omega-3s were likely lowering inflammation and boosting serotonin. I believed it. Walnuts didn't just support my performance, they supported my presence. 5 almonds. Day 14. Drive-returned almonds work differently. They didn't improve blood flow as quickly as pistachios or cashews, but around day 14, I felt a surge in motivation. Not just in the bedroom, across life. I wanted to fix things around the house. I felt sharper at work. I started dressing a little better. Dr. Anderson called almonds a testosterone stabilizer. They're full of zinc, magnesium, and vitamin E, all crucial for hormone balance. For me, they helped rebuild my inner fire. Not the flash of lust, but the quiet strength of drive. 6. Macadamia nuts. Day 16. Heart first, bedroom later. Macadamias felt slow. Honestly, I almost gave up on them. But by day 16, I realized something. My energy was lasting longer. I wasn't dragging after dinner. I wasn't as winded going upstairs. Dr. Anderson explained that macadamias are rich in monounsaturated fats, the same heart-friendly fats found in olive oil. They help lower LDL cholesterol and support healthy arteries. My erections weren't wildly different that week, but I felt like the engine underneath was stronger. My foundation felt more solid, and that matters. Subtle supporters, long-term effects, gentle impact 7, hazelnuts, quiet protection. Hazelnuts didn't give me any dramatic improvements in the first week, or even 2, but Dr. Anderson said they play a different role. Hazelnuts are high in vitamin E, which protects arteries from oxidative stress. That means they help preserve blood vessel flexibility, the long game of circulation. I started adding them to my oatmeal on week 3. They were more of a quiet guardrail than a performance booster. If pistachios were the spark, hazelnuts were the shield. 8. Pecans. The inflammation fighter. Like hazelnuts, pecans worked more in the background. Dr. Anderson suggested them for men with chronic inflammation, which quietly damages blood vessels. By week 3, I felt less stiffness. My joints didn't ache as much after walks, and though I can't say they boosted my erections directly, I felt lighter, less inflamed. That matters too. 9 peanuts. The everyday helper. Peanuts were the last nut I tried, and I honestly didn't expect much, but they surprised me. They contain resveratrol, the same compound found in red wine that supports nitric oxide and blood flow. And while the effect was subtle, it was real. Peanuts gave me a gentle lift in energy, and they were easy to add to my routine. No fuss, just a handful a day. Were they the most powerful? No, but they made the plan sustainable. So what worked best? If I had to rank them by speed and impact, pistachios win, hands down. Within 4 days, something turned back on. Cashews and Brazil nuts followed closely. Walnuts and almonds brought emotional strength and hormone balance. And the others, macadamias, hazelnuts, pecans, peanuts, supported the deeper systems that keep things running over time. But here's the real truth. It wasn't just about one nut. It was the consistency, the daily commitment, the willingness to feed my body what it had been missing for years. And now that you know how each one affected me, let me tell you the story of someone else, someone who walked into Dr. Anderson's clinic feeling broken and found his way back. Let's talk about Paul. His name was Paul, 66 years old, retired plumber. 2 grown sons, one in Denver, one overseas, married for over 35 years to his high school sweetheart Maria. When Paul first walked into Dr. Anderson's clinic, he wasn't looking for advice. He was looking for permission to give up. He sat quietly in the chair, his baseball cap pulled low, fingers tightly clasped in his lap. "I think I'm just done," he said. He wasn't angry. He wasn't even sad, not in the way you might expect. It was something heavier, something deeper, the resignation of a man who had stopped believing in his body, in himself. "I haven't felt like a man in over a year," he admitted. "I still love her. I want to be close, but nothing works, not even when I want it to." Maria never pressured him. She was kind, patient. But Paul could feel the gap between them growing, a quiet distance. He missed the laughter, the playful touches, the soft spark that had kept them connected for decades. Dr. Anderson listened. Then she asked one question. "Do you believe your body still wants to heal?" Paul shrugged. "I don't know. I've tried pills. They work sometimes, but I don't feel good on them. It's not me. I just feel like I'm forcing it." She nodded, then leaned forward. "What if we stop forcing and start feeding?" She told him about pistachios and Brazil nuts, about how certain natural compounds, like L-arginine and selenium, could jumpstart nitric oxide production and support testosterone from the inside out. No rush, no pressure, just a small daily ritual that nourishes instead of pushes. Paul was skeptical, but he agreed to try. Each morning he had 2 Brazil nuts with his breakfast, and each afternoon a handful of raw pistachios. That's it. No medication, no pressure to perform, just quiet consistency. The first week, nothing happened. Still flat, he said in his check-in, but he noticed his sleep got better. He wasn't waking up as often during the night. Week 2, he felt less tired in the mornings. "I don't feel so foggy," he said. Then something small happened on day 13. He woke up with an erection. Not strong, not long, but it was there. And it was his. By day 21, that faint signal became more steady. Paul started smiling more during visits. He told Dr. Anderson that Maria had touched his hand the other night, and he didn't pull away like he had been. He felt connected again. "I don't feel ashamed anymore," he said. "It's coming back. I'm coming back." By the end of week 4, Paul said something that still stays with me. "She kissed me on the cheek, and I turned and kissed her back, just like we used to, and I wasn't afraid of what came next." No drama, no Hollywood ending, just a man rebuilding himself from the inside out, slowly, naturally, honestly. Paul didn't need to be 20 again. He just needed to feel like himself again. And for him, it started with 2 simple foods that helped his body remember what it had forgotten. Today, he still eats those same nuts. He's not chasing performance. He's nurturing connection, confidence, closeness. And every time I think about giving up on my own journey, I remember Paul. Because sometimes the difference between fading and fighting is just one handful away. You might be wondering, why did some of these nuts help? What's really happening inside the body when things begin to come back online? The truth is, it's not magic. It's biology. Gentle, powerful, and completely natural. Let's break it down simply. First, let's talk about blood flow. Because every single erection you've ever had began with one thing: circulation. Think of your arteries like garden hoses. When we're young, those hoses are flexible. The water, your blood, flows easily, filling every corner, every branch, every flower. That's what an erection really is: healthy pressure, delivered to a very specific place on demand. But over time, those hoses start to stiffen. The inside walls collect debris, cholesterol, calcium, oxidative stress. And slowly the water trickles instead of surges. That means weaker erections, slower recovery, less sensation. Now here's where it gets interesting. Your body has a natural compound called nitric oxide. It's like the switch that tells your blood vessels to relax and open wide. It's how your brain says, send blood down there now. But after 60, your nitric oxide levels drop dramatically. It's one of the biggest hidden reasons men struggle with performance. Not testosterone, not desire, just chemistry. This is where nuts come in. Pistachios and walnuts, for example, are rich in an amino acid called L-arginine. Once inside your body, L-arginine gets converted into nitric oxide. That's the switch. That's what opens the hose again. And the results? They're not always immediate, but when nitric oxide builds up, you feel it. In your firmness, your morning wood, your response to touch. You feel alive again. Then there's Brazil nuts. These are packed with selenium, a mineral your testes need to produce testosterone. Think of testosterone as the engine and selenium as the oil that keeps it running. Without it, everything grinds to a halt. Most men over 60 are low in selenium and never know it. But once you restore it, your body remembers. Desire returns. Drive comes back. You start making decisions like a man who wants things again. Cashews add another layer. They're rich in magnesium, which helps blood vessels relax and reduces high blood pressure, a silent killer of circulation. When pressure is too high for too long, the arteries become rigid. Magnesium unwinds that. Walnuts and macadamias support heart health through omega-3s and monounsaturated fats. They don't just clear the hose, they rebuild it. They make the walls stronger, more elastic. That means longer-lasting flow, not just once, but consistently. Hazelnuts and pecans carry antioxidants like vitamin E and plant sterols. These are your blood vessel bodyguards. They fight off inflammation, prevent oxidative damage, and protect the fragile inner lining of your arteries, called the endothelium. If that lining gets damaged, nitric oxide can't do its job. These nuts make sure the switch still works. And peanuts? The humble snack most men overlook? They carry resveratrol, the same compound found in red wine that boosts nitric oxide and supports blood flow. Easy, accessible, no corkscrew required. Here's what Dr. Anderson always says: you don't need to change everything. You need to change what your body's been missing. When you eat the right foods consistently, you're not forcing performance. You're restoring the pathways that used to run naturally. You're not fixing a broken machine. You're clearing the road and letting the engine run the way it was designed to. It's not just about sex. It's about confidence, energy, clarity, a sense of power in your body that spills over into every part of your life. And once you understand how it all connects, circulation, hormones, blood pressure, inflammation, it's no longer confusing. It's just cause and effect, action and reaction, nourishment and response. Your body is waiting. These compounds aren't foreign. They're not chemicals made in a lab. They're nature's instructions. When you give them to your body remembers what to do. That's the science behind the shift. That's why men like Paul see real changes, not because of hype, but because of biology. Finally supported the way it should be. And now if you're thinking, this sounds great, but where do I even start? That's exactly what we're going to cover next. Let's be honest, 9 different nuts can feel like a lot. I get it. When I first started this journey, I stood in the grocery aisle staring at little plastic bags with big price tags and zero confidence. I almost walked out. That's why, if you're just getting started, I want to make this simple for you. You don't need all 9 right away. You don't need a spreadsheet or a supplement stack. You just need to start. Dr. Anderson gave me a rule I'll never forget. Start with 3. Eat them daily and let your body take it from there. So here's the plan I used, and still use. The 3-nut starter plan. Simple, gentle, effective. Morning, Brazil nuts. 2 nuts after breakfast. Start your day with a spark of selenium. Just 2 Brazil nuts are enough to load your system with this powerful mineral that helps your body produce testosterone and activate your drive. Take them after breakfast, not on an empty stomach. It helps reduce the risk of digestive upset and allows better absorption. You don't need more than 2. In fact, more is not better with Brazil nuts. It's the consistency that matters. This step isn't about performance. It's about laying the hormonal groundwork, like warming up the engine before you drive. Afternoon. Pistachios. 1 small handful between lunch and dinner. This is your circulation boost. The L-arginine in pistachios converts to nitric oxide and helps blood flow where it needs to go. And that's the one area we both know needs flow. Have them in the afternoon, around 2 to 4 p.m. That's when many men feel their energy dip, and when circulation naturally slows. Keep it simple. 1 small handful. Chew them slowly. You're not snacking, you're fueling, and give it time. For many men, including me, day 4 was the turning point. Not dramatic, just the quiet return of something that had been missing. Evening. Cashews. 1 handful after dinner or before bed. Cashews are the calm down crew. They're rich in magnesium, which helps lower blood pressure and reduce vessel stiffness, a major hidden cause of weak erections. They also help with sleep, muscle relaxation, and mood balance, all essential when your body is trying to repair itself overnight. Dr. Anderson had me take them after dinner, sometimes even as a pre-bed snack. They help me sleep deeper and wake up more refreshed, which is when I started noticing morning firmness returning. This 3rd step isn't just about what happens at night. It's about setting the stage for how you'll feel tomorrow morning. Stick to this plan for 2 weeks. Don't expect fireworks on day 1. Just watch. Pay attention. Notice how you feel in your energy, your clarity, your body. If you miss a day, don't quit. If you forget your cashews, just take them the next night. This isn't a prescription, it's a rhythm, a gentle invitation for your body to remember what it used to do effortlessly. And if you're ready to go further, you can begin introducing the others one by one. Add almonds for testosterone balance, walnuts for heart health, hazelnuts for protection. But only if it feels right. You're not behind, you're beginning. And beginnings are powerful. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do something and do it consistently. This 3-nut plan isn't about perfection, it's about momentum. It's about giving your body 3 small natural signals every day that say, you're not finished, you're just getting started. If you've made it this far, that means something. It means you're not just curious. You care. You're ready. Maybe even just a little bit hopeful again. I want to leave you with one truth I've learned, not from books or research, but from the quiet hours of living through this myself. Erectile dysfunction isn't the end of your story. It's not a sign that you've failed or that your best days are behind you. It's your body asking for help. Gently, repeatedly, and sometimes desperately. The world doesn't talk about this enough, not in a way that's honest, human, and without shame. We're told to suck it up, stay quiet, take a pill and move on. But you and I both know that's not healing, that's hiding. You deserve better, and so do millions of men out there, quietly wondering if they're alone, if they're broken, if it's too late. That's why I made this video, and that's why I'm asking you to do one small thing. If this story resonated with you, if you've tried even one of these nuts, or you're just beginning, type 9 in the comments. Not for me, for the man who's still deciding whether he's worth the effort. Your comment might be the moment he chooses to start, and if you've struggled silently for years and you're not sure where to begin, just type 1 point. That's all. Just 1.0. That tells me you're still here. You're still listening. You still want this. If you feel safe enough, share a piece of your story. You'd be amazed how many people are walking the same path and never say a word until someone else speaks first. This isn't about going viral, it's about going real. And if you found this helpful, consider subscribing. Not because you're following me, but because you're following your health. Every week, I'll be sharing simple, science-backed ways to support your circulation, your confidence, and your connection, naturally and without shame. In the next video, we're going to explore a question many men have asked me. What's the best drink before bed to restore blood flow down there, without affecting your heart or sleep. You won't want to miss that one. But until then, remember this. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are not finished. Your body still remembers. Your heart still wants connection. And if you give it just a little bit of the right support, you might be amazed at what comes back. You're not alone. We're in this together, one handful at a time,